Hey everybody, it's Rob. I'm back. We're doing another Hack the Box walkthrough. This time we're doing a machine called Paper. It is a Linux box rated as easy, and I did not think it was easy at all. But one thing I did want to note was I recently just changed from VirtualBox to VMware Workstation Pro now that it's free. And it seems to be working better for me. So if you see the VM stuff up here, I could do full screen, but it's a little distracting. So, if you think it's distracting, comment and I'll try and do these in full screen mode. But for now, I'm just going to do them like this. So without further ado, you can see I am on Hack the Box's VPN and I do have Paper spun up, and here's the IP address. So the first thing that we did was an Nmap scan. Service version detection T4, all ports aggressive, and 22, 80, and 443 came back. And 80 and 443 look like they're running Apache. So if we go to those websites, 80 is this HTTP server test page, same exact thing on 443. So just to keep this video brief, I'm just going to tell you some of the things that I tried and did not have any success with. So if you run GoBuster on both of these websites, the one on 80 and the one on 443, I really didn't get anything back. So I've been recently taking some training, and one of the things that they teach you is to use Netcat to do a request to try and get information back from the server. You could probably also do this with Burp Suite, but Netcat is a little bit easier. If you go to, I found this website that kind of explains it well. So to use Netcat to make an HTTP request, it's very simple. You do Netcat, you connect to the web server on 80, and then you send this, get HTTP 1.1, and it should return some information to you. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do Netcat, and that is the correct IP address on 80. And then I'm literally going to go back to this website, copy this, and paste it in. And hit enter. And when we do this, you get bad request. But there's a lot of good information in here. First of which is this, office.paper. So that to me looks like a domain. So what we're going to do is we're going to open a terminal, and we're going to nano the etc hosts file and add a host to the file for this IP address. So what we can do is, I'm just going to copy it from here. We're going to pop in the IP address, hit tab, and then enter office.paper for the domain. Okay, so if we hit Control O to save, Control X to exit, and we can exit this terminal. If we come back to the website, and now we type http office.paper, we should get something back. And it's definitely a website that was not available until we referenced it using the virtual host. So this looks suspicious. Oh, here we go. It tells you right here it's WordPress. So if we do the same thing on HTTPS, it's going to come back with the same website, I believe. So we do office.paper, and we get a certificate warning. So we'll click advanced, and we'll accept the risk and continue. And this actually doesn't come back with the WordPress blog. So apparently it's only available on 80. So anytime you see a WordPress blog, you should always run WP scan, and that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to grab this command right here. Very simple. Copy. It's just WP scan, and we're just feeding it the URL office.paper. So we're going to hit enter. And WP scan is going to do its thing. Shouldn't take too long. All right, and let's take a look and see what came back. Okay, so the WordPress version could be a problem. It says it's insecure. It was released on 2019, WordPress 5.2.3. So Again, in the interest of time for the video, if you search for vulnerabilities for this WordPress version, there's one that comes back over and over again. I'm just going to close this window. And it's this WordPress core less than 523, viewing unauthenticated passwords and private posts. And this exploit couldn't be simpler. All you need to do is basically append this to the end of the URL. And if there are any secret content, it will be revealed. So these would be private posts, anything like that. So let's give that a try and see what happens. All you got to do, like it says, is paste that in there and hit enter. And in fact, we do get this test post. And it looks like what they're doing is trying to remove information from the blog and use this new chat.office.paper Rocket.Chat or something. I'm not really sure what it is, but first and foremost, we're going to have to add this host to the Etsy host file if we want to be able to access it. So we'll pop open the terminal again, and we'll sudo nano Etsy hosts. We'll come down here. After office.paper, we'll hit space, and then we'll put chat.office.paper. And then we'll hit Control O to save, Control X to exit. We can get out of here. And now we're going to try and go to this URL, because this looks like the secret URL to register for the new employee chat system. So we'll copy this. They're obviously making fun of the office here. We'll paste and go. And it takes us to a registration page for Rocket.Chat. So what we're going to do is we are going to register. We're going to type hacker, email test@test.com. Password is going to be password. And then password is going to be password. And then we'll just come down here and hit register. Not now. We want to use this register. We want to register this username, so use this name. And it says, hello, welcome to Rocket.Chat, yada, yada, yada. So let's see what we can see here. We go home. There's a directory. And then there's a display. Oh, it looks like we have that was kind of weird. It just came in live, like it's actually live. I'm going to hit general. And it looks like there's a really long chat here between everybody. To cut to the chase, basically Dwight has created this bot in Rocket.Chat that will perform a bunch of functions for you. This was a pain in the butt. Trying to figure out how to interact with this Recyclops bot. You can ask it specific things about files. They kind of give you the hints right here. So files, list, time, those are really the kind of the commands that you can use. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on Recyclops, and we're going to open a chat with Recyclops. And what I'm simply going to do, and believe me, this took me a lot longer to figure it out than what I'm going to show you here, but I want to keep this video kind of pithy, okay? I'm just going to type list. Actually, if I could type list, spell it correctly. It actually lists the files and the directories. So I spent, I don't even know how long, because it's almost like directory traversal. You have to do .. // You can't just give it literal paths. So I spent probably a good hour in here just trying to get through the file system to see what was available. I was not able to get to the flag here. For some reason I couldn't get into, well, it's because of security. I couldn't get into Dwight's directory, whom I'm assuming is the one that we're trying to get into. So ultimately what I had to do was list ... And you can see there's a bunch of stuff here. And I looked through a lot of it. Now there's this hubbot. Hubbot is the bot, I guess, that they used for this Rocket.Chat. What I ended up having to do was just work my way through it. So I did not slash, I did list // hubbot. And I saw there was a bunch of stuff in here. And I just went through each file individually. Luckily, the one that I wanted apparently was this environment one, and it's near the top, so it didn't take too long. But ultimately, what you need to do to get what you want is use the second command, which is file, which is the if you looked at the chat in general, that was one of the options along with list. Okay, so we're going to type file / /hubbot, and then we're going to put another /env, because this is going to basically give us the contents of that .env file. So if we hit enter, we have a password now, Queen of Blades. Okay, so now what we're going to do, or what I thought to do, was because Dwight set this up, the assumption the whole time was that I was going to find something that was going to allow me to log in as Dwight. So what we're going to try is we're going to try to SSH into the machine as Dwight. So SSH Dwight at office.paper. I'm going to hit enter. And I noticed copying and pasting the password didn't work that great. So I'm going to actually type it. So just bear with me here because I might mistype it. I'm a terrible typist, in case you haven't figured that out in 70 videos. So it's Queen of Blades, capital QUEENOFB LAD 3S exclamation point 23. Enter. And now we're logged in as Dwight at Paper. Now I think you can copy the password and paste it from now on. I just had trouble logging in for some reason. I don't know if maybe when I was trying to paste it there was an extra space in there or something. It happens, but I just typed it and got in. So if we do an ls, we can see that there's user.txt there, so we're going to cat user.txt. And there's the flag. So if we do our normal Linux enumeration, I'm just going to do the basic stuff. We do history. It's probably going to just be the history we just did. Sudo tac-l. And I think I can copy and paste this password now. Let me just see. Copy. Paste clipboard. Sorry, Dwight may not run sudo on Paper. So then let's do the find files with the suid set. Now I notice polkit is on here. That's something you see on a lot of machines, and typically they're not vulnerable to the polkit exploit. But I pretty much exhausted. Let's see, cat etc cron tab. There's nothing. I tried looking for files with capabilities. There was nothing. So ultimately, one of my main go-to tools here is for this, in these cases, is going to be linps. So that's what we're going to do. I'm just going to make sure I'm in my home directory here, pwd, and I am. And then I'm going to open a tab. I'm going to cd tools, cd linps, and then we're going to do a Python web server on 80. Go back to our foothold, and then we're going to do a wget http 10.10.14.232. God, this machine's slow. And then we're going to try and grab linps.shell. All right, and then we're going to chmod +x linps.shell. And then we're going to run linps.shell. And then I'm going to pause the video while this runs, and I'll be back when it's done. Okay, we're back. linps took quite a bit of time to run, and there is a lot of feedback. You can see right here, it calls out Dwight's path and everything. But I checked out that bot restart.shell, and there wasn't really anything that we could take advantage of in there. I mean, ultimately, what happened was when we get to the top here, I'll scroll down. Here it calls out the path again for Dwight, which, you know, I did investigate. I started looking at these exploits, and I did try polkit. It didn't work. There was a bunch of exploits here that it was vulnerable to. And this one pops up all the time. CVE 2021-3560, which is that polkit vulnerability. But I'm going to be frank with you. Most of the time it never works because there needs to be very specific packages installed. But in this case, I got desperate, and because there was really nothing else. And I ultimately I decided to run the polkit exploit. So I'm just going to scroll down here to the bottom, hit enter. All right. And then what we did was we went and looked for the polkit exploit on GitHub, found it. Now this exploit has to be run on the machine. So we're going to download this code. All right, we're going to open the folder, and I think I might still have my LinP's HTTP server running, so I'm going to kill that, Control C. We can close this window, and I'm going to open a terminal here, and we're going to run another Python HTTP server. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to open another terminal here just so I can grab the name of this exploit because I don't want to have to type it. So I'm just going to do an ls, copy this, and then we're going to go back to our foothold, and we're going to do another wget. So wget http 10.10.14.232, and then we're just going to paste the CVE in here. We're going to do an ls, and we can see the CVEs there. So I don't think we have to do anything other than just run it on the machine, from my understanding. So it's been a little bit since I've done this machine. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to type Python 3 CVE, and we're going to hit enter. And for the first time ever, since I've been doing any kind of penetration testing, CTFs or anything, so maybe the last 2 years, I've never successfully run polkit. It's always been missing packages of some kind. So I cannot believe it, but polkit worked. And it just goes to show, don't take things for granted, because that shows up in almost every one of these boxes that I do, and it almost never works. But if you get desperate enough, you will try it. So we are now root, so we can cd to root. We can do an ls, and we can cat root.txt. And there's the flag. So I like this machine. The whole Recyclops bot thing was a pain in the butt because I had to enumerate the file system using basically like directory traversal, which was a pain in the butt. So it took me like an hour of just messing around to figure out what files I needed to look at. But ultimately, the way we took advantage of this machine was we ran an mmap scan. We saw that there were websites running on 80 and 443. I did a netcat request, HTTP request to the website on 80, and got back that the backend server was a paper, office.paper. So we added that to the host file, and when we did that, we were able to access the virtual host, which was running a WordPress blog. We ran WordPress scan, determined the version was exploitable, did a search for an exploit, found one that enabled you to reveal secret posts by appending a specific string to the end of the URL. We did that. We saw that there was a post where they were telling people to register for the new employee chat system. We followed that that URL. We registered for the system. It was Rocket.Chat. Once we registered, we saw there was some conversation where Dwight mentioned he had created this Recyclops bot, and we engaged in a conversation with the bot. We figured out the commands that we needed to basically enumerate the file system. Found inside the hublot directory that there was a .env file that contained clear text credentials. We SSH'd in as Dwight. We did our normal Linux enumeration, didn't really find anything, so we ran linps. Found out that ultimately we were going to try polkit because nothing else worked. We downloaded the exploit to the machine. We ran polkit and we got a root shell and was able to cat out the root.txt. So I hope you found this video useful. I hope you learned something. All the links that I used will be in the description below. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, just want to say hi, let me know somebody's watching these, that would be fantastic. Drop a comment below. Also, let me know if the VMware setup is okay, or if you find that VMware toolbar at the top distracting. I can run in full screen mode, just let me know. Otherwise, I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.